The Orville was back this week in its prime with a wonderful episode. Great stuff. Two wonderful guest stars and a farewell to a wonderful friend. Let's talk about it. Hello, hillbillies of the galaxy. It is I, Average Joe, the Average Geek, back to talk about the Orville one more time. And this week's episode was phenomenal. It's entitled Holmes, the third episode of the season, and it was Orville back in its prime, back doing what Orville does best, which is that combination of good stories and great characters and some good humor, all rolled up into one. It's a wonderful, wonderful episode. Definitely the best of the three from season 2 so far. As you know from my last week's review, I didn't like the second episode that much, but this episode was top notch. First, right off the bat, I mean, Alara, she's super strong because of the high gravity of her home planet Celea, but she has been adapting to Earth standard gravity, and her strength is leaving her. And the only real way to get it back is to go home and reacclimate to her home world, and that's what happens, and we get some really fun stuff going on there. Not a lot of high concept science fiction this episode, but what we got was great. First off, the planet Celea is absolutely gorgeous. The cityscape, the planet itself with the ring systems and the couple of moons and great, wonderful vistas of this beautiful, extremely advanced city. It was really nice, kind of spending some time on this planet, getting a look at its architecture, the technology, the sports stadium through the flyby of the city, the monorail system, the train system, it looked like Ferris wheels and entertainment complexes and gorgeous skyscrapers. It was beautiful. In a lot of ways, it kind of reminded me of the imagery of Alderaan in the Star Wars universe. Kind of white alabaster towers and super high tech stuff. I thought it was great. I thought it was gorgeous. A lot of it kind of makes me wonder how much Selayan design kind of influenced Union vessels and Union shuttlecraft after we see, the Alara Catan, the Catan family's personal shuttlecraft. I wonder how much. How much influence Celea has on the high tech designs of the galaxy. It was gorgeous. I loved seeing that. It was probably some of the best imagery we've seen in the show. I thoroughly loved it. And then, of course, we get, Ildris Catan, played by the incomparable Robert Picardo, also known most famously as the EMH program from Star Trek Voyager and seen in Star Trek First Contact, who's one of my favorite characters in Star Trek Voyager, and he just kind of nails every character he plays in these little shows that he shows up in. And it was wonderful seeing him there. And of course, we got Mr. Billingsley himself. We got Phlox, Dr. Phlox from Star Trek Enterprise, played by Peter Billingsley, I believe his name is. So that was really cool. And it was nice seeing those two actors play off of one another because they're both wonderful character actors. And as the plot continues, we see the Billingsley get to turn heel and play a bit of a villain, and we get to see that kind of psychopathic, the crazy side of him, and he's a wonderful actor. And he has a way of smiling that just kind of catches you off guard. It was wonderful seeing him and Picardo playing off of one another in this episode. We get a lot of interesting family dynamics, and it was really the what this episode was about ultimately was this kind of family dynamic. Our eternal quest to make our parents proud and our family proud. It seems to be a universal concept, and this episode definitely didn't shy away from discussing that topic. Obviously, in Chilean society, they look down on the brawn. They look down on the muscle heads. They look down on the military aspect of it. They hold themselves to a higher regard. Then they feel that the intellectual half is much more important and much more highly evolved than those that could deal violence when needed to. So Alara, who has always been drawn towards the security and militaristic aspects of the Union, obviously felt inadequate compared to the rest of Chilean society, and she found a home on the Orville amongst the humans and the various other species of the Union, and her family didn't quite accept that, at least not until the end of the episode, when bad people start doing bad things, the only thing that'll stop them is good people doing bad things. Sometimes, you have to meet violence with violence. Is it the first resort? Never. Is it always where you should go first? No, of course not. Is it a necessity at times? Absolutely. And there has to be people that are willing to deal violence to protect those that are good. And Alara is that person. It was nice seeing her overcome her illness and break her foot off in somebody's ass to save the day. That was great. And of course, we at least temporarily, maybe permanently, have lost the character on the Orville. She's always been a wonderful character. She always brought something fun to the show. Not the funniest of characters, but that kind of childlike innocence that she brings to the crew is a great counterplay against the goofiness of Gordon and Lamar. So she will be missed. It was a great character. Overall, this episode was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. It was the Orville doing what the Orville does best, which was great after the first 2 episodes of the season, which kind of missed it for me personally. I know there's a lot of people out there that really love those 2 episodes, and more power to you. But for me, this episode is where it's at, and it was nice getting that strong character story, that strong that strong telling of what the Orville really is about. And it's not really about the exploration and the grand vistas and the action. It's about these very down to earth characters interacting with one another in these fantastical environments. And this episode absolutely performed for me. I got to give it a solid A. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this week's episode of The Orville. If you agree with me, by all means, please give this episode a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. Feel free to share me with your friends. Again, that really helps us out. Just under 600 subscribers. I'd love to break 600 subscribers with this video. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's got more stuff coming up. Of course, every week I'll be here with the Orville doing Orville reviews, and then next week we will be beginning our exploration of Exploring Star Trek Discovery Season 2. I'm definitely looking forward to getting that going again. Thank you all very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Thank you for watching. I'm Average Joe, the Average Geek, and I will see you hillbillies later.